All right, let's bring in Britt Ghiroli, who covers Major League Baseball for The Athletic. So give me one word right now to describe this World Series through 5 games.
Chaos. Utter chaos.
I could not agree more with you. Especially after the way Game 4 ended, right?
Game 4, I probably watched that end like 100 times. I don't know about you, but so many things were going on that the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, a tie game. Oh, a walk-off. Oh my God, he tripped. Oh, where's the ball? Like, you kind of had to watch that, I feel like, 20 times just to get a sense of what the heck happened there. It was an instant classic, unbelievable. So many things. We could watch that play 100 times, and I think 99 times out of 100, not even one of those things would happen. And we saw like 5 different crazy things. I'm still recovering from that game.
we all are right now. The Dodgers, though, why are they so good with 2 outs on the board? We saw more of it like last night. I mean, 17 postseason games here, Brett. They've scored a record 59 runs with 2 outs. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's about 60% of their runs. It's well on pace to be a record here in baseball. They've got guys who work really deep counts. Max Muncy is their cleanup hitter, but is also second in postseason history for walks. So they're not going to give you anything.
Yeah, and every time Mookie Betts decides to do something really good, a piece of Red Sox fans like dies inside. On the other,
oh, was he on the Red Sox?
Yeah, right. Shh, don't tell anyone. On the other side of this, though, Brett, let's look at the Rays baseball team. It's like the little engine that could here. Did they motor their way into a loss last night, though, in the 4th? We talked about how crazy like the Game 4 was, but in the 4th inning last night in Game 5, trailing 3-2, Manuel Margot failing to steal home. That was insane.
It was. I didn't have a problem with that. It would have been the first stolen base of home in 75 years. So we talked about the chaos of Game 4. That was a really exciting play. It took Clayton Kershaw being absolutely perfect to just get him. So I think the Rays lost because they had 5 hard-hit balls last night. The Dodgers had 14 or 15. They just didn't, even in the 4th inning, when they had some stuff going off of Kershaw, they only had 1 really hard-hit ball. So I think the Rays offense just didn't have an answer for the Dodgers. That was the story of the game. They had that chance in the 4th inning, didn't score. They also had a huge chance in the 8th inning and weren't able to do anything either. So I like the Margot play. It's aggressive. It's fun. This playoffs has been so fun. I hope people watch games like last night and they fall in love with baseball again.
And we look at the Rays here in New England, and could we see a similar style with the Red Sox, considering Chaim Bloom, a former member of the Rays front office, helped kind of build this Rays team, is now running the show in Boston. Who do you think he targets like as the next manager here?
I think it's going to be a familiar face. Alex Cora is going to be a guy that's in demand. A.J. Hinch, his suspension, as well as Astros GM Jeff Luhnow. Once the World Series is over, those guys can all be hired. Carlos Beltran, to a lesser extent, there are rumors that perhaps he doesn't want to manage unless it's in New York. I think Boston would embrace Cora. He won with them. People love him. They'd say, he sat out for a year. He did his time. Let's bring him back. So I think that Alex Cora is kind of his job to lose at this point in time. In terms of Bloom, certainly I think he's probably got some guys he'd rather interview. I'm certain they're going to go through that process as well. But to me, once I heard Reinke was out and you look at where we are and the fact that the commissioner's office has said the suspension will be up for these guys. Punishment has been served. Whether you feel like it's been served or not, these guys are coming back to the game. I spoke to many executives, and we have a big story in The Athletic coming tomorrow about how baseball should handle this. And there's a large group of people, GMs in particular, who feel like Hinch and Cora are too good to not hire. It doesn't matter that they come with baggage. They're going to win. And who do you want in Boston, in a city like Boston? You don't really want a young first-time manager. You know, that's a big media market, a team expected to win all the time. I think you want a guy who's done it before. And who better than a guy who won a World Series in the Red Sox dugout?
Right, yeah. He got the best out of a lot of these guys on the roster currently. I know Yankees bench coach Carlos Mendoza was the latest name to pop up there. Speaking of like the Red Sox rotation and everything, though, we've got Trevor Bauer trolling Red Sox fans on social media with pictures of plane tickets to Boston. How much would he help stabilize this starting rotation, or would a guy like Kevin Gausman make more sense? A guy you covered during his Baltimore days.
I think it's going to depend on the Red Sox budget here. Now, we can make all the Mookie Betts, save money jokes we want, but Bauer is going to command a significant amount of money. Kevin Gausman is more in a situation where you look at his stats, and he seems like a guy who's a buy low candidate, where you can get cheaper, where you can potentially add him and another starter. I do think Trevor Bauer, no matter where he goes, you're talking about a guy who most likely is going to be the Cy Young Award winner this year in the National League. You look at the strikeouts and the walks and all the things that he's done well. He's a competitive guy. He's not afraid to be out there on Twitter. I think he's going to fit in pretty much any team that needs a pitcher. But I think if you're Bloom and you look at where he came from in Tampa Bay and you're looking at being cost efficient, which is what all these front offices are doing now, you look at these guys who could have bounce back years like a Kevin Gausman, and I think that probably fits better. It's not as sexy as Trevor Bauer. It's not as big of a name. It's not going to get fans as excited, but you're going to be able to do other things this winter if you sign a guy like Kevin Gausman. For teams that have Trevor Bauer, unless you have a big operating payroll, which I don't think a lot of clubs are going to have, I think he's basically it, and there's a danger to putting all this money towards a guy who plays once every fifth day.
Britt Ghiroli, congratulations on making your NESN After Hours debut. It was really fun catching up with you, and we hope to see you again soon, okay?
All right. Thanks for having me.
For more in-depth reporting from Britt, and don't forget that big Alex Cora story coming out tomorrow. Subscribe to The Athletic for every sports story that matters.